Let's cross to SABC News reporter Sipho Kekana. Perhaps an update about the trial today. Sipho, good afternoon. We're just getting a sense of what transpired today. Again, Thabo Mosia back on the stand. Police conduct at the murder scene, the first respondents' behavior criticized heavily. The conduct of the SAPs at large also coming to the fore. Perhaps in view of these sentiments, you could wrap up what transpired today in court.
So what we have heard is that despite a bevy of police at the crime scene of Senzo Meyiwa's murder, a bullet projectile that was taken in as one of the key exhibits was only discovered the next morning. You remember that we had previously that Sergeant Mtetwa and Sergeant Matebula were the first people on that scene, and they never found any bullet projectile that was there the first time they were there. They say they only saw a bullet projectile on the floor. And now, according to Thabo Mosia, what was found on the floor was just a fragmented bullet. Now, Mosia arrived on the scene just about 20 minutes after midnight on the 27th of October 2014. And he says he got there and there was just a bevy of police on the scene. And he looked around, searched for evidence, and he never saw any bullet projectile on top of the kitchen counter there until he left just about 20 minutes before 3 a.m. He came back the following morning. And with the help of the task team, he says they were able now to detect a bullet projectile that was behind the glass jars on the kitchen counter. So that is what perhaps came out, one of the big stories to come out of court today. You remember, this is very, very key because he was not the first person to arrive there, and there's previously been accusations of scene tampering and evidence planting. You remember this previously. We have also heard about witnesses who have deposed statements to the effect that neighbor Maggie Piri was seen going into the house at some point while everybody was at the hospital, picking up stuff and throwing it away and saying that she did not want the police to know that the people who were in the house on that evening had been drinking alcohol. So the discovery now of the bullet projectile only the next morning adds to that confusion and also those accusations of scene tampering that perhaps could have taken place on that night after the murder. And also, Lizelle, there's being the issue of the gun that was used on the night. You will recall that according to the testimony that we've heard from previous witnesses, the likes of Tumelo Madala, the likes of Zandile Khumalo, what we've heard is that the first intruder that entered the house and demanded cell phones and money had a gun that had a will. And we understand that the gun was described as a revolver by the police when they were given that expression, a description that the gun had a will. The police deduced that it should have been a revolver. And on Monday, what we saw was that there is a police officer, Masondo, who arrested accused number 3 in Cleveland, in Johannesburg. He came to court to tell the court about a firearm that was found in accused number 3's room. But according to Masondo, that firearm that was found in accused number 3's room when he was arrested back in 2015 was a pistol. It had a magazine. And what we have now heard from court today was that no cartridges were found on the scene. And I'm bringing this out because as we've heard today in court during cross-examination by Sipho Ramasipili, a gun that releases cartridges, it has to be a pistol. On that night, according to Mosia, they looked around. They didn't find any cartridge which supported the notion that perhaps the people who had entered that house were using the revolver. Now, as we see it now, the court still has to provide clarity on the relevance of the testimony by Masondo on Monday as to how would that evidence about the gun that was found in accused number 3's room, how would it then become relevant to this particular case? You will remember that he was asked a direct question, Masondo, on Monday. He was asked, did you find any link between the gun that was found in accused number 3's room with Senzo Meyiwa's murder? And his answer was that nothing, and if there was anything, I would have known. If there was any link between that gun and Senzo Meyiwa's murder, I would have known. That's what he told the court at the time. So at the moment, what we understand is that no cartridges were found on the scene, which then supports the idea that the gun that could have been used on that evening could have been a revolver, because according to the evidence that was led today, a revolver does not eject a cartridge after a gun has gone off. So those were some of the issues that came out today, Lizelle. The proceedings had to be cut short at about 3 when state witness, that is the 13th state witness, Sipho Kekana, a warrant officer and a forensic detective at the time, saying that he was not feeling well, he was getting a little bit confused with the sketch, and asked for a short comfort break, and later on we were told that the matter would then stand down to tomorrow. So tomorrow we are expecting that Musia is going to come back to continue under cross-examination by Advocate Zitulele Ngumalo, and tomorrow also Advocate Zandile Mshololo will then have her moment to cross-examine the witness.
All right, thank you, Sipho, for that update. Sipho Kekana, reporter, bring us the latest emerging from the High Court in Pretoria as the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial continues there. Again, court resumes tomorrow with Thabo Mosia taking the stand again.